Good afternoon. I am Breeze Harper of the Sistah Vegan Project, and I wanted to talk about hair care today. About 13 years ago, when I was attending Dartmouth College, I had been straightening my hair since I was 9. So for about 10 years, I had been straightening my hair, and when I entered Dartmouth College, I was still straightening my hair. And I had encountered a young woman from Nigeria who introduced to me that my hair is beautiful, which was something that I had never really felt. And to give you a little background about hair in Black America, it's a very touchy subject. Apparently, we have bad hair. I put that in quotations, bad. And it's from a history of the black body never really being seen as beautiful within a white Eurocentric culture in which beauty is constructed around being straight, very fair-skinned, blonde hair, blue eyes, looking like a lady, and that being the white Eurocentric aesthetic. And then the opposite of that was literally the African female, who was thought of as unfeminine and unladylike, because of the way our features were, the color of our skin, and a big part of it was our hair texture. Our very beautiful curly hair texture was constructed as ugly, and unfortunately it's not just white culture collectively that had this opinion, but now current day America, a lot of African Americans such as myself internalized that aesthetic to the point that many of us put things on our hair that literally compromise our health. I'm talking about relaxers and certain hair dyes that actually get into our systems and make us incredibly sick. Many of us don't even realize that straightening our hair with chemicals actually upsets the hormonal balances in our bodies that may cause many women to have issues with their womb or reproductive health. A lot of us suffer from fibroid tumors, which I talked about the other day, but also issues with heavy menstruation, long periods, and a lot of that is disrupted by these chemicals that we put on our body to try to meet this colonial aesthetic of beauty. And it's actually very, very, very depressing to actually realize what people are willing to put on their body to meet a certain standard, because there's so much pain, generations of pain, when it comes to trying to fit in and look a certain way because it's meant survival. If I can look more and more like this particular aesthetic that is accepted in mainstream society, then maybe I will get a better job, maybe I'll have better mobility, maybe people won't make fun of me for looking, African. So it's really hard. So when I was about 19 years old, I did meet this young woman from Dartmouth College, who we were at the infirmary together, and I spent the night there because I had food poisoning, and she was sharing a room with me, and she just told me how beautiful my hair was. Like I said, I never really had someone tell me that my hair was beautiful when it was not straightened, and she spent the evening cornrowing it, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever experienced, was this woman telling me, "You're beautiful." And ever since then, I just stopped straightening my hair, and I actually started wearing my long hair, which I used to straighten, naturally. So I washed it, and then I would have a huge afro. And after I graduated from college, I started using different types of shampoos and conditioners to try to maintain my beautiful curly hair. And it was really hard once I got into the working world to wear an afro and not have people make certain comments to me. I don't mean white Americans, I mean mostly African diasporic people that would actually ask me why I'm doing this natural thing with my hair. And I remember when I came home one day to go to a wedding, my cousin's wedding, I had been wearing my afro puffs, and my mother, she was so upset with me when I had put my hair up and had an afro puff, and she was almost going to cry when she found out I wasn't going to straighten it for the wedding. She just she was kind of upset, so it was very strange. I do want to report now that my mother does wear a natural. I convinced her that it's probably healthier for her to stop straightening her hair with all those chemicals, and she loves it. And what I've realized in the past few years, since transitioning to a plant-based diet and wanting to avoid products that have animal products in it, I realized that I can maintain my natural hairstyle, make it healthy as possible by putting in shea butter and hemp oil. So I have been using hemp oil. You can use any brand, but this is an empty bottle that I have of hemp oil. I buy it from Amazon.com, but you can probably buy it anywhere on the internet if you just type in Nutiva hemp oil. And I discovered, put this in my hair, and my afro loved it. So I shaved off all my hair a few weeks ago, and I'm growing it back again. But for people who are just interested in transitioning into using plant-based organic hair care products for their naturals, I highly recommend shea butter, and I highly recommend hemp oil. And it's really great if you live in parts of the world or parts of the USA, like in the winter time when the heat is really high up. It dries out our skin and hair, so you don't only have to put it on your hair, you can put it on your face and your body, and you will glow and you'll love it. It's just really beautiful. I know it's hard for many of us to start thinking about the chemicals we put on our bodies, that we try to start thinking about how that actually affects our physical health. It's quite scary if you start looking into these straightening chemicals, what they actually do when your body absorbs it. And the mere fact that it burns your scalp, or you have to open a window so you can breathe and not pass out, it makes me want to cry that we African American women continue doing this to ourselves, not necessarily because we consciously want to, but I mean, think about when you started finding certain hair types ugly and certain hair types beautiful. You know, what type of emotional pain do you go through if you wake up in the morning and, like myself, I used to do, freak out that your hair isn't straight the way it was last night because the room was extra humid, and you woke up and it was nappy again, you know? I mean, just, it's really sad. And I don't want to actually judge those who do straighten their hairs. I'm not saying that. I just want us to be conscious of what we're doing to our body. If we're trying to consume things that hurt us, but it's to obtain a certain aesthetic that the status quo has deemed as acceptable, you know, what does that mean? What does it mean that we're willing to risk our emotional and physical health to meet certain aesthetic standards? You know, what does it mean that some of us have actually been told at our work that if we wanted to go natural, it would be a problem because it doesn't look professional, you know? So these are the things I want to think about, all within the context of a Sistah vegan consciousness. If we want to start thinking about not just what we put in our bodies, but on our bodies and our beautiful locks, if we want to start transitioning into healthier products, a lot of people are scared. What do I do if I no longer have the straightening comb or those chemicals? You know, I don't know what to do. I was never taught what to put in my hair if I wanted a beautiful, healthy, natural. And I did a lot of research, and it's simple: hemp oil and shea butter. I also learned that many of us are not supposed to really be able to comb straight through our hair. You're going to tear it out sometimes if you have really curly hair. So what I do is when I have the big afro, I put my oils in my hair, and I just use my fingers, and I just lovingly try to style it that way. I don't try to put a comb in it. I realize maybe my hair is just so lovingly curly, it's not made for that. So just think about that. Think about these things. And if you have questions about how I transitioned into natural style, please do give me an email. I really would appreciate your thoughts and your concerns. Okay? So hemp oil and shea butter. Have a beautiful, blessed day.